Good morning and welcome to the third episode of Mojospresso, a caffeine-inspired shot of inspiration and perspective to help you on your Friday with the intention to help you win the morning and win the day. A big shout out to our friends in Bali who are watching. Selamat pagi, apa kabar, bagus, and friends in Hong Kong who are doing it tough at the moment. Josan, ni homa, ho ho. Hi Chris, hi Danny, hi Gillian, hi Tyler, hi Seabass, hi Zeds, hi Amy. Great to have you all join us. I'm here in a state of disaster in Melbourne, having my favourite coffee. But we're thinking coming out the other side of this, we might take Mojospresso to Melbourne's best coffee houses out to the streets to showcase this city's love of caffeine. So if you've got a favourite joint, or you are a favourite joint, definitely let us know. So to today's theme, there's an expression that we use with clients that when said, they give us this incredulous look like, no, you're full of shit, I don't believe you. And yet this has been proven true over centuries, is always proven true with clients, and will continue to be proven true through this pandemic. And that expression is, our greatest growth comes from our darkest times. Yeah, our greatest learnings come from our most difficult times. And I'll explain, but Charles Darwin said 150 years ago that the species which survive are not the strongest, nor are they the most intelligent, but rather those adaptive to change. So just think about those last three words, adaptive to change, open to change, being open-minded. Coming out the other side of this pandemic, people will do things better. Yeah, businesses will do things better. We just have to. Healthcare was invented in the last pandemic a century ago. Social Security was invented during the Great Depression. And just think about the most amazing businesses and ideas that came out of the global financial crisis. Slack, WhatsApp, Pinterest, Uber, Airbnb, making sense of the sharing economy. In every significant world setback, pandemics, depressions, recessions, the world always comes back better. And it's exactly the same for individuals too. A big shout out to a podcast that's just been launched during this pandemic called Bounce Back, set up by Drinkwise, which I actually heard the Prime Minister talking about. And you'll hear the most amazing against the odds, overcoming adversity stories from people like Tim Paine, the Australian cricket captain, who talks about some of his darkest times and talks about that chapter as a blessing, if you can believe that, a blessing. But so does Anna Meares, arguably one of the world's greatest female cyclists, who broke her neck, but through that transition and learning about herself, came back and won another 9 of her 11 world titles. She also calls that chapter a blessing. So does Trent Cotchin, who talks about his 2016 train wreck season as a gift, if you can believe that. And look what happened next. But for anyone, whether it's Steph Gilmore or Ash Barty or Andre Agassi, who went from 1 in the world to 141 in the world and lost his marriage and lost his coach, but through that adversity, found himself and came back and won another 4 Grand Slams and found love and created a team around him and set up $1 billion business around education. In difficult times when we're on our knees and life sucks, we adapt, we evolve, we think differently, we challenge our perspective. And perspective in the Oxford Dictionary literally means the way we see something, yeah, or our attitude towards something. And it's fair to say that it's perspective that will get us through not only difficult times, but it helps us to think differently. For instance, are you stuck at home or are you safe at home? Yeah, you decide the answer to that. Everyone in the world lives and dies on the success of 3 things: how we think, what we prioritize, and the decisions that we make. And if we think differently, we'll prioritize different things, yeah, and make different decisions and choices. Now, the reason that our greatest growth comes from our darkest times is it unlocks 2 of the world's most powerful values, and that's humility and curiosity. Humility to say, I'm human, I'm imperfect, and I can't do anything in this world on my own. To acknowledge the brutal facts of our own reality and to recognize our own shortcomings and limitations, but also to appreciate others' strengths as well. With humility, we eliminate denial or rationalizing or expectations or making excuses that my life should be different. but we also accept that nothing is ever that good or that bad. It just is what it is, and we accept the things we can't control and focus back on the things we can control. Curiosity, on the other hand, is one of the most powerful pillars to overcoming adversity, to be open-minded to learning, to asking questions, what if, why not? Curiosity changes our mindset from a sense of fear to a sense of anticipation or excitement to explore what can change within my environment, to improve my current situation. The best leaders have an appetite for the truth by asking this simple question: what am I in denial of here? How can I change here? How can I do things differently here? And then they rethink the threat into an opportunity. Curiosity is so powerful and can trigger all the drugs already within us that we need in our lives. Dopamine, when we start to recognize new patterns and solve problems. Serotonin, when we start to build confidence in our ability to control threats. And if you're doing it with others, it unlocks oxytocin, the happiness drug. What it also does is it enables us to unlock vulnerability, because if you're open to learning and growth and asking questions, you're embracing vulnerability as a strength, which is the most courageous thing you will ever do on this planet. As long as, of course, we lean in, not lean back. You lean into the risk and the uncertainty and the emotional exposure with putting yourself out there. Any good surfer or snowboarder knows that if you lean in, you stay up, but if you lean back, you fall back. And lastly, the other reason why our greatest growth often comes from our darkest times is that it unlocks our own greatest values. Because we had to draw on some energy source, we had to draw down on something to get us through the darkest times of our lives. So ask yourself these two simple questions. What's one of the worst things that's ever happened to me? Or what's one of the worst things that's ever happened to me? You might be going through that right now. And the second question is, what got me through it? Because you drew down on an energy source, and whether it was love, whether it was perseverance or resilience or positivity or optimism, work out what it means for you, and define it. And then work out what are the behaviors associated with that. And that'll help you and stay accountable and get you through these darkest times. When Viktor Frankl got out of Auschwitz and wrote Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most gifted books that I've been giving through this pandemic, he said, live as if you were living for the second time and as if you had acted wrongly the first time. I can't think of a more profound quote for these times. So with that perspective and that humility and curiosity, maybe ask yourself these two questions. Am I stuck at home or am I safe at home? And is this pandemic just a problem or is there an opportunity here? Marcus Aurelius, one of the world's greatest Stoic philosophers and last of the true Roman empires, or you can watch Gladiator for more information, he said, what stands in the way becomes the way. Because great sailors don't learn to sail in calm waters, they need stormy waters. And while rising tide floats all boats, sometimes we need the tide to go out to see where the rocks are and see also where the opportunities are. So I'll love you and leave you and see you on the other side in the sea. All the best.